Well, missing and murdered Indigenous people are unfortunately not uncommon in Idaho. And tomorrow, organizers are holding a vigil to honor missing and lost relatives. And today we are here with Ty Simpson, the community organizer, and artist Ada Fryer. First of all, thank you all for being here, as well as many guests as well. First of all, who do you have here with you?
It's important to know that when we do community organizing as Indigenous people, that we don't ever do that organizing alone, and that we're uplifted and held by each other and together. So I have my data nerd back here, Mel Fillmore, my partner and co-founder at the Alliance, Jason Pretty Boy, my admin and BFF, emotional support friend, Amy York, and then of course my artist and comrade in this work, Ada Fryer.
Thank you. Well, thank you all for being here. We're very honored to have you here today. Talk a little bit about this event that's happening tomorrow.
Yeah. We're hosting this event tomorrow to honor missing and murdered Indigenous people, and the reason I wanted to create this art is because of my own friend who was lost in this way, and I just feel like people really need to know it. So people are not educated, and they need to know what's happening on the lands that they're on. So.
Yeah. And speaking of that education, I mean, why is it so important for folks to know? I mean, you know, we hear about it often, but not often enough, right? So kind of talk a little bit about that.
Absolutely. Indigenous people for hundreds of years have been seen outside the protections of the American legal system. So what tends to happen then is violence against our women and children is exacerbated. We see stalking at higher rates, sexual and domestic violence at higher rates, and then of course the intersections of human trafficking, and then missing and murdered Indigenous women and people become a crisis. In Idaho, the numbers are high, and we're trying to address that through data, through policy change, through awareness events. And one of the things that's most important about tomorrow's vigil is uplifting and centering the families who are impacted, families who have lost loved ones, families who are still searching for loved ones. So this is an opportunity to share a healing space and then also an education space for community.
You talk about those numbers being high. I mean, just what are we looking at in terms of perspective?
Nationwide, there's about 5,600 missing persons cases. In Idaho, the number from Idaho State Police Missing Clearinghouse runs about 15, although we do have other external data partners who are telling us right around 55. The tribe that's missing the most people are the Shoshone-Bannock. The most missing women, I think, is neck and neck between the Nez Perce tribe and the Coeur d'Alene tribes. So making sure that we're and not just relegating the issue to numbers too, right? This is an issue of community safety, access to healthcare, access to culture, and you know, mental health services. So all of those pieces are also a part of what's happening in this issue.
The bigger picture.
Big picture,
right?
Every time.
So talk a little bit about the details for tomorrow's vigil. Is anyone allowed to join?
Yeah, go ahead, Nate.
Yeah, we really want anyone to come and be a part of it and just come with a good heart and, you know, really be there to listen if you're just joining and honor those families and what they've been through.
And this is the first year that this will be done, correct?
Yeah, this is our first year. May 1st is the kickoff for the National Week of Awareness for Missing and Murdered Indigenous People. Idaho's Awareness Day is May 5th, and so we're just doing this on a weekend so that we can get more rural reservation families in Boise, as well as to honor that space. Idaho Botanical Garden is actually the indigenous territory and homeland of the Niwa and Numu nations, so we want to make sure that their names and voices are uplifted as part of this vigil as well.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining us here on the News at 4. We really appreciate it, and we'll be right back.